Today, on this episode of RealityGays.
Is it Stig the artist or Stig the con artist?
And Elise now knows why you don't go chasing waterfalls.
And I asked Poodle, what's the craziest thing he's ever done sexually, and I immediately regretted it.
Roll it, Christina.
RG on YT, y'all.
Get down tonight, Daddy.
It's time for Reality Gays. We're here to cover another reality show. And while the video plays, just sit back and let go.
Now, you may be thinking, where'd the theme song go? We made this little switch because copyright's a bitch. We got 90 Day, Mormon Wives, Lalo, and more.
And now you can watch us, you whore.
You like to watch. You dirty slut. Yeah, you know.
Like it, don't you? A little too much. Ooh, moist.
RG on YouTube, y'all. I want to show my creamy shoulders. And maybe my nipple.
Poodle, no! Poodle, are you okay? Poodle! Poodle, tell me. What's wrong?
Help! I'm in a secret relationship. Help! 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 Ah! I'm not making fun of her screams, but it was just funny that he was just going, I'm having the best time of my life. And she's...
That camera on her GoPro did her dirty.
I hope she can laugh now. She probably can. I'm going to need Elise to be videotaped another thing like on the challenge.
I need Elise to be on Fear Factor.
I wasn't meaning to laugh, but she's like, I want to go home. Talk about she's a little sheltered. Help! Help! I'm in a secret relationship. Help!
That's all I could think of.
Help!
Oh, I wish we saw this episode after our Elise interview dropped, and I'm sad to say because I would have asked her all about this and some other things that happened today. But
what did I ask her at the very end? And she was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like she didn't get the joke. I gotta say, interviewing Elise is kind of a weird experience because you don't. First of all, I had some people DM me like, "Why don't you ask her about blah blah?" I'm like, this is not a hard interview. This is a friendly interview. We basically just wanted her opinion and things. We knew we weren't going to get anything out of her,
y'all. And when we asked those questions. TLC, y'all, we've got their press person there, and they
listening to every word.
We can't ask that kind of stuff. If we did, they'll cut it out. So, and that's okay with us because we get screeners and they support our pod, and we are appreciative of it. We are happy to do that.
Elise is unintentionally hysterical.
She really is. We had a great time.
And she is completely oblivious to a lot of what's happening.
And you brought it up. They had the cold montage of her not wearing enough clothes. And you talked about that on the interview.
She's been cold every episode.
It was great.
I did ask her, do you own clothes?
We did.
And she's like, yes, I do.
Yes, I do. In Miami. Y'all, this is Reality Gays. I'm Mattie.
And I'm Poodle. And we are two ridiculous homosexuals who love nothing more than tearing reality television a new one.
We do love tearing it. And today we're talking about 90 Day Fiance's B90, Season 8, Episode 18. You're going to have a problem with
exit.
This. Emergency
I do.
exit.
I do. Because it's not even now something anyone said. Now it's just a proper noun.
What's going to be the last one? Because next week's our...
Get off the plane.
Get off. Oh. You can now deboard or no, what did they say? I just was on a flight today and I don't remember what they said. Nobody says anything anymore. They
have
just
a
go,
nice
boom,
day.
And everybody just gets their seatbelts and kind of walks out the plane.
What do you want them to say?
Now, look.
When you land, they tell you welcome to wherever you are. What do you want them to say? We appreciate your business. You should fly Delta next time. Blah, 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 blah.
That's
blah,
true. You know,
you need to be coddled too. You want a participation trophy too?
Well, I don't know. I still like to clap for the pilot because I still think
oh my God.
I think, well, they do that a lot in Europe and I like it. I think it's a miracle that someone landed a flying tube on the ground at 500 miles an hour. It's
all in a day. It's all in a day now. No one clapped for me when I taught a voice lesson.
Well,
and trust me, that was hard sometimes.
I don't think anyone's life was in
You've never been in voice lessons.
Well, they can get dramatic. That's fair. I had something that happened to me I wanted to ask your opinion about on my flight today.
It's going to be that kind of show. All right.
Well, it was a short flight. I flew back from, I was helping a friend with a film in Phoenix. So it was like an hour and 15-minute flight, short flight.
So we're going to do some type of like morning show talk. All right.
I want to ask your opinion because I didn't know what to do.
That I can give you.
Whether I want it or not, you're going to give it. That's the whole point. As when we're in real life, I have to lean over sometimes to Jake and say,
you know how to get me.
Real life is not a podcast, Poodle. No one asks what you thought.
That's a little hard for me sometimes. But I've always done that. I've always given my opinion. It's just sadly now it's a little freer. The reins are
but you're unleashed here. That's fine.
I am unleashed. Poodle unleashed.
Poodle unleashed. So the plane was like 3/4 full. So not really like there was space. Well, so I had an aisle seat and I sat in the aisle seat next to a guy in the middle. And so
was there a seat?
There was no one in the window seat. So I was in the aisle.
Already I'm annoyed.
He was in the middle.
And he didn't move over?
And then they did the boarding and everything. And I kept thinking, oh, he's going to move over. Oh, he's going to move over.
Excuse me?
He stayed in the middle seat the entire time.
I would have said something.
Oh, I couldn't. Then I was nervous because then I thought, what if he's scared of heights or something and he couldn't be by a window seat? And
you offered to trade with him. Trade for the aisles of the window.
It completely dysregulated me. I did not know how to respond to it. I just sat there with his arm on my armrest. When there was plenty of room, he just could have moved over.
Could you have moved to another seat?
Like maybe like 2 or 3 aisles up, I could have. But my bag was already up above me, and I didn't want to have to go back to get my bag.
I would have moved. I could not have.
It was the weirdest thing.
This seems like a psychological experiment.
And I wondered that because then
were you being filmed? Yeah.
I walked out and I went to the bathroom and because I had to pee, and he walked in before me, but I saw him go. There was a row of like 20 urinals at LAX to pee in.
Stop.
And one man was peeing at a urinal, and he started to go to the end where no one was. And then he changed course and went and stood by the other man at the same right beside his urinal.
Is this just to wind me up?
No,
because I'm infuriated.
I am so confused by this man. I didn't know. At this point,
maybe he was kept in a Chinese prison where he was forced to be really close to people for a very long time, and he can't not be close.
I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. It baffled me, and I just sat there kind of frozen for an hour and 10 minutes on my flight going, what the fuck is happening?
You know what you say?
And then also kind of like, I'm not moving I got an aisle seat for a reason.
You say, can I switch seats with you? Could I... you know what I would have said? Here's what I would have said. I would have just said, so what are we going to do here? One of us is moving.
It just felt so un-Southern to say something.
Sometimes you have to get un-Southern. I would have literally turned to him and said, so what's the deal here? What are we going to do?
It was weird.
And I would have said, I would have moved. That would have made me so uncomfortable.
And he wasn't gay. It wasn't like he was attracted to me.
I didn't ask that.
He was talking to his wife on the phone when we landed.
Like, it feels like a psychological experiment to me.
It was weird.
First of all, this hardly ever happens. I think maybe he's one of those people who, like, they have to go by the rules. They have to stay in the seat they're in.
That's the only thing I could think of. Or he thought if the plane goes down, he wants his body identified in 16, F. Or whatever it is. There was a seat.
So it's a whole thing. Okay,
there was a seat right in front of me, actually. A woman was just in the window, and I could have done that. But she asked for a glass of hot water and then pulled out a dry ramen cup and made ramen in the middle of the plane. And it smelled, and I didn't want to sit by the ramen.
Why are you in the most offensive plane known to man? I think I would have just gotten off the plane.
Well, it was already anyway.
Come on.
I just thank you.
So the next time, say, what are we going to do? What are we going to do here? One of us needs to move. We are two men sitting right next to each other when we don't have to.
We don't.
Nope.
We don't.
Absolutely not. You've got to break society's conventions.
It was already weird. On the flight there, this girl just starts like, excuse me, does anyone have a lightning phone charger? She just starts calling out on the plane.
No, you asked the flight attendant.
Well, they didn't have one, I guess.
I don't want to bother other people. I will not bother. If someone's next to me, I will talk to them. But I'm not going to do an Elise.
She kept asking people, and I just gave her mine.
Of course you did.
Shut her up. And then, like the final blow, when she gave it back, she said, "Thank you so much, sir."
Yeah. You're a sir now. You've been a sir for at least 15 years.
Well, you're right there with me, honey.
Oh, I've been a sir, and I hate it.
I don't like it. I'd almost rather be called ma'am.
The worst is a thing that young men now do. Hey, what can I get you, boss?
Oh
my God.
I hate boss. I hate it.
There is nothing worse.
Our old handyman used to say, "Whatever you want, boss man." And I'm like, no, which just, again, makes me think of Showboat, because remember, everybody was white in it. We didn't have any. So we had to say, "Here we all work while the boss man plays," instead of white man.
Every single time someone calls me boss, I'm immediately in a white suit and a Confederate, like, "Hello there. Yes, you're doing so good, my young boy."
I don't like it.
Smoking a stogie, talking about how times were a lot better when the Yankees weren't involved. That's what I feel like every time someone calls me that. But that's for me to process and not for anybody else to worry about.
Well,
now that we've talked about your plane trip and me being...
What announcements do we have?
Me being uncomfortable called boss, I don't think women probably have to deal with that. I think that's a very young man to older man thing.
Well, they should be calling women boss, babe. They should be calling them boss too.
Yeah. I thought we just, in response to something that happened on Gaily Dose last week. Yes. I thought I knew what we had. We've had Mothgate. I wasn't prepared for Applegate. The amount of DMs.
Someone actually said Poodle's woeful incompetence of apples.
Ignorance, I think.
Woeful ignorance.
Yes. Between our Facebook group, DMs, Patreon comments, someone DM'd me and told me I would not know an apple from my own ass.
I got to say, I thought of you because we were on set. We had Cosmic Crisp apples and they were delicious.
I need to say an update. I bought 2 because everyone wouldn't shut up about them. And I have yet to try them, but I'm going to, because a whole apple is too much for me to eat. My fruit consumption varies. Can't be too sweet.
You're fruity enough.
I know.
Same.
But I basically made it. I said Macintosh apples were not good.
Oh, boy.
Apparently I pissed off most of a region where they make them.
You did.
I was also told I never had a good Macintosh apple because I would shut my mouth if I had. And
they were really angry about it.
I did not know people took apples so personally.
It was amazing.
Also, it turns out everyone's got their own favorite apple.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it was generally acknowledged that Red Delicious apples were absolute trash. We should not be.
You should do how Delta work, lover, friend of the pod. She's not, but I hope one day she is.
She's not, but we would like that to be.
We would love it to be. Maybe we get you apple slices, like the way she tries which Coke is from McDonald's, and you try different apples. A blind taste test.
I don't know if I like apples that much. But
I would just do slices.
I'm not an expert.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I'm not an apple expert. But I got an earful about apples.
They came for you.
And apparently everyone's got opinions about apples too. I did not know. So if you want to hear me embarrass myself talking about apples on the Gaily Dose, that was last week's episode.
It was practically bloody.
And it was kind of random. It was just random. We talked about it. It wasn't even supposed to. You mentioned Cosmic Crisp, and I was like, "What's that?" And you had to explain to me what a Cosmic Crisp is. I still think that's a marketing name and not a farmer name. And I think that farmers should name the apples.
Okay, fool you once. Step in it again and see where it lands you. You're gonna have bullet holes in your car.
I just think that's a farm.
Won't be my fault.
I think Cosmic Crisp sounds like some ad exec came up with it who just bought a new Porsche. And it should be a farmer with dirt on his jeans.
Well, what do you think they should call it? Dirt apples?
You can tell a farmer came up with Pink Lady. You can tell that. I think even Macintosh, that's someone's name. Cosmic Crisp sounds like, I don't know. That's a cereal.
Please come for Jake at Jake It or Fake It on social media.
And I'm not saying the apples are bad. I just don't like the name. Anyway, Applegate, you were a thing. Yeah. So stop sending me DMs about your apples. I get it now. I can admit I've never had a good Macintosh apple. Apparently, because we don't have them out here. It's not.
Have you never actually been apple picking?
I went one time in the Northeast.
Did you eat an apple from a tree?
It was delicious. Yeah,
that's the best way to have it.
Yeah,
like a sun-kissed apple. Oh my God!
But you did not grow up with apple picking.
No, they don't have. They don't. I don't think they grow where we live.
Same thing in South Carolina. Nope. Mm-mm.
Now we'd go pick pecans from trees. We got that.
I think that's a little different.
But they do taste better when you pick them from the nut and shell them yourself than when they're already shelled. No one.
All right, I've lost interest. We said this before. Check out our Elise interview. We had a good time. 98 Fiance season 12, y'all. So this was the penultimate episode. We got one more episode. They're squeezing that last Grapes of Wrath teat.
We saw next week. Lisa's going to be on next episode with a new wig. She got bangs, like different bangs, like with a highlight.
She's also been talking on, I don't know, whoever will listen to her, honestly, about her BPD diagnosis. Shocker.
Oh, that makes sense.
And how she was kind of responding to ideas that she's like, my daughter didn't have to live with me. She wanted to.
I hope she's medicated.
Probably. I don't know she talked about the wig, but I'm sure there'll be a lot to talk about. But we're going to get two tell-alls, and then the new season 90 Day Fiance season 12. All new people because this was a rogues gallery this season.
It was.
Nobody matriculated.
Mm-mm.
No. Mm-mm. All disasters.
Oh, boy. I'm excited. New blood.
Although I think Forrest and Sheena might be the only ones to kind of make it. I think they will make it now. But they're just not going to be on this new season. I think they'll probably stay together.
Well, not if Molly has anything to do with it.
Yeah. I think should we talk about our new couple now or wait till in between?
We usually wait in between.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Oh, you can pitch your Cameo.
Oh, yeah. Come at me on Cameo. Oh, I got to do one before it expires. Not Poodle because Poodle is too busy buying apples.
That was the problem with Cameo. When it would tell me something would expire, I would lose my shit.
Well, no, if it expires now, it just expires and you just do it again. But I was just too busy on that film thing. So that's fine. I can do it today. Anyway, yeah, come at me in there. Whatever you need. Someone, it was a private Cameo, but they had me, but they said, I want you to tell my husband how good his dick is.
Oh my God.
And then she described how good he was at dicking her down. So I did it, but it was private. Probably better that it was private. Probably. Because
I don't know if I would love a gay man talking to my husband. Listening about my husband's dick.
Whatever you want. Pep talk, tell someone you're getting divorced, whatever. I'm here. Let's do it. Okay. Is that it? Shall we jump in?
What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Sexually? Well, I was fucking my boyfriend and he was literally flying the plane.
And she was like, oh, I don't want to hear that. Yeah. No one wants to hear it. What is the cool... I don't have, you know me, I live my life in a small square and I'm not adventurous at all. Hello, I don't even move from a plane seat. But
the most adventurous thing?
What is the craziest thing you think you've done?
Sexually speaking? Honestly.
We'll save that for the sext, which are coming. He said he's working on them.
I think that cave I did in Belize was the craziest fucking thing I've ever done.
I actually thought when we watched this Elise thing, I said, this reminds me of what Jake said that cave was like.
And it's similar. And you did crawl through this was underground. And you could, and in my cave, you could see skeletons. But it felt the rush of that and going through cold water. And that's why I was thinking, Elise is the wrong person to do this with. First of all, there's a commitment. You have to have a sense of adventure to do stuff like this. You either have it or you don't. And I don't think she does. And I love doing stuff like this. And if I get hurt a little bit, I'm going to get hurt. But I just love kind of the rush that it gives me. But that was probably the craziest thing I've ever done. Because at one point, you would just go off and our guy would say, there's a really big rock right pin. And as soon as she would say it, I would like bang my fucking knee. And it was kind of crazy too. And she's like, we're going to go through this thing. We don't usually take this shortcut, but it's really high in here. You're going to go through this and you're going to have to go underwater and you're going to swim under a rock. And I was like, okay. And you would just do it. And I'm like, what if I got caught under there? And she's like, I'll just pull you out. It was just like, okay, here we go. No fear.
I did do, it wasn't that, but I did do, I don't remember where it was, but I had to like swim under a rock. Oh, it was in Mexico. I went to like a cenote and we did a tour and there was a couple of things where you had to go underwater. Yeah. And I remember your mind wants to freak out.
Yeah, you just go.
But you have that other part of you that talks that anxiety part of your mind down. Elise doesn't have that part.
No.
So I have to ask because they're going to ask. Hold on, let me take a drink of water before to settle my stomach. What is the craziest thing you've done sexually?
I don't know. I was trying to think about it.
It's like a Rolodex, just like downloading.
Drugs are non-drugs.
Well, if you did it during sex, then it counts.
I think
If you did MDMA off some guy's dick.
You know what, though? The drugs are never the craziest thing. It's the thing that happens after.
Okay.
I think I'd have to be a role play. It'd have to be some crazy role play of, and we kind of got too far into it. And at one point, and then I just kind of, it was too far. It was getting into places that neither of us felt good, and we just kind of leaning into it.
Do you remember the roles that were defined?
Yeah, well,
if you feel comfortable saying, or if not,
yes.
If you're worried about terrifying people,
he was my.
I'm walking this back.
He was coming over, and we started role playing the minute I opened the door, and we were texting.
Okay.
We were middle school friends.
Oh, God.
We didn't do too well. And the point he kept saying, yeah, Mr. Johnson's, I got Mr. Johnson for algebra. It's really hard. And we're like, I guess it's time, bro, to go to bed. And it just kept going to the point of, yeah, who do you have for study hall? And it kept going into more and more involved. Yeah. And it's kind of weird because I saw your brother the other day and he was I'm like, okay.
Oh,
it started to get into more about and then we started messing around, and then he started talking about, do you ever think about your brother? And I was just like, now, and I just went, you know what? I think your mom needs you home.
Okay. I just want to tell people, if you're horrified about this,
it just kept going.
You cannot be, because just wait until how are the sex going? Is it ever happening at this point?
Yes.
No one believes you anymore.
There is a whole file on my phone of screenshots.
You need to show Christina. I need to see this, or she needs to see this. No one believes it. They all are saying you're never going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
What's that like when people don't believe in you? God. Middle school. Blech. Oh, wow.
It was a lot. Let's move on.
Your mom needs you. It's time to go. So you didn't even bang. It grossed you out.
We were doing the pre-show.
Oh.
We were doing pre-show material.
Okay.
And we were about to get to we had completed the first couple of steps on our journey.
Okay.
That we weren't banging yet.
But yeah, I was hire a bus driver.
I was so uncomfortable, and to the point where I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Well,
yeah.
The kind of the way we feel now. Let's move on.
Because usually what happens with role play is you kind of hit the spots and then you kind of stop talking. And then you just think you're two people having sex. This was not that. Wow. This was, because I think he was trying to really keep up with me. But yeah.
I think I've told you about the Australian guy that showed up my door in a schoolboy outfit, and I said, I can't do this.
No.
I can't, I'm sorry.
No. Costumes are a whole other level.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah. So, y'all, she's going to take him abseiling, which I didn't know what this was.
I didn't know either, and neither did she.
And she's like, it's got abs and sailing, so it's good for me. And so they're gonna go canyoning and then going down a waterfall, which looks like it's just kind of like, what is that called? Where you kind of
it's
climbing, kind of like.
But where you're tied up to your mountain sissies are screaming. Clearly, we don't know what we're talking about. Is it propelling? Is that the word?
No, it's not propelling.
It's not. It's
rappelling.
I said very propel,
similar,
and I mean it's repel.
Very similar to rappelling, it looked like.
Yes.
And she's like, so we have to get wet? We're going to be going through. So she actually had no idea of what they were doing.
None.
And I got to say, the falls looked a little precarious. That looked a little scary to me.
The rappelling didn't look as scary to me as walking through the water and the big rocks, and like that was a lot.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
what
freezing.
The cave was like.
And remember, Elise has no body fat, so she's always fucking cold.
I'm cold. I'm so cold. She's like, if I would have read the description, I would have never done this. But she does jump off of it, and that's when she's like, I can't do this anymore. I don't like this. And then she says, I can't feel my hands. She's hysterical. She's probably having a panic attack. And she's hysterically crying. And she said, I'm starting to get hypothermia. I don't know if it was actual hypothermia. I think she was, or maybe it was. I don't know. But I think I think her nervous system was just like, poof.
Yeah.
And so she's screaming, I want to go home. And at one point she's just crawling on her hands and knees, kind of just sobbing. Yeah. And he's like, and Josh's like, I was having the time of my life thinking she's being a drama queen, but then I saw her surrounded by a big crowd of people. And she's like, I'm so scared and tired, but I'm so glad that Josh was there to comfort me. He knows how to calm me down.
He's like hugging her and all this kind of stuff. And so an hour later, they're driving in the car and she's like, that was crazy. And Josh was, I had a great time. And you see, he gets a message on his phone and he kind of, he says out loud, he said, shit or fuck. And she's like, what is it? And he's like,
nothing.
It's nothing. What do you mean nothing?
I know. It's almost like you're making it worse.
Well, that is one thing with Elise. Even if he said to Elise, hey, I got an upsetting text. Can I just have 20 minutes to process it? She couldn't handle that. She would be like, what do you mean? What is it? Like,
no,
she's
couldn't.
Someone who has to know now. So 20 minutes later, they stop at this beautiful vista and they're looking at this, like, it looks almost like the Grand Canyon or something like that. Yeah. It's really beautiful. But he got the news that she's not going to be able to FaceTime his son.
Yeah.
He said, it's not possible. And I'm sorry, I let you down. Again, we've already said this. We think it's too soon for her to meet his son
100%,
anyway.
100%.
The first time you meet someone, I know he's in another country. It's all of this, but
she's only known him for 6 months.
Yeah. We should have brought this up. That's on us. We just didn't. But we think it's just too soon. But
it's too soon.
But this
FaceTiming or meeting in person.
But this was the crazy part about Josh. And this episode, I kind of went, oh, now I think I'm seeing what Elise is seeing that we maybe haven't been shown in the edit as much, is when Josh immediately, we've said that Josh is depressed and feels like shit about himself, but he says things like, well, I wouldn't blame you for walking away. And she's like, what? This is...
Well, yeah, He says, he's like, this is upsetting. And he's in shame and he's doing anything he can to get out of it.
Yeah.
So he says, she's like, I wanted you to meet people in your life and I want to see your life. And he's like, I guess I'm good at disappointing people. Then he's heavily in shame. And he says, I wouldn't blame you for walking away. And in her head, she hears he wants me to walk away. And in a way, what he's wanting at that moment is for her, by saying, I want to break up with you, will take this part of the shame away. That's what he's anything at that point. Yeah. Because it's so unbearable.
Yeah.
And that's when she's, I'm just so cold. And she freaks out. She's like, he just said I could walk away. Because then that triggers her abandonment issues.
Yeah.
And so then you have that. And she's like, how could you dare say that to me? He's like, what did I even do? And he doesn't even, because y'all, he's probably almost unaware of what he's even saying then, because he's so overwhelmed with shame.
I do. And I agree with that. And I think you're not saying that as an excuse for him.
I'm not letting him off the hook for it.
But but because he's unaware of it, that he doesn't realize that in the next breath when he says, I'm falling in love with you, he looks insane.
He looks insane, and it looks like it's
not trustworthy.
It looks like he's trying to make up for something that just happened.
And manipulate
and she's
her.
Aware of
it feels like he's trying to. And so this is the episode where I went, oh, got it. I got what Elise has been seeing.
I kind of was there with you too.
With the little half-truths and all that. I get it now. I get it. Yep. He's just hot. And
he's real hot.
Probably good and big. God, he's so hot.
He's definitely the hottest guy this season. Yeah.
One
of the hottest
really
hot
guys
90-day guys.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, and he says, I'll keep dropping the ball, but I'll try to be better for you. And he's like, it means a lot that you're upset, which is I understand what he's meaning, but it's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
It'll happen because you guys are going to play a big part in each other's lives. I have to give your term, this future faking. This is major future faking.
It is.
And that's when he says, I'm in love with you. And she just goes, that's crazy. She's like, you mean that? He's like, I do. And the other thing, y'all, think about what happened today. She had a really traumatic experience in this waterfall. He saw her. They kind of went through that. So they've experienced something together.
Mm-hmm.
Now he feels comfortable to say that. And her whole system is on overload. And
the timing of it was not great. And I know she's leaving the next day.
Yeah.
But it was terrible timing. And then we find out later, again, because his ego, his emotions are so fragile right now because he's fucking depressed. He's really upset that she didn't say I love you back.
Yeah.
Which in Elise, we'll talk about it. But again, it's kind of insane that he already says I'm falling in love with you and that he expects her to feel the same way this soon.
And because they've been talking for 6 months, but you know what? One of the reasons it's weird for him, he's not outwardly bizarre. Like I think so many 90-day people who they have like a crazy, but it's not a non-threatening crazy.
You don't see it. You don't
see it with this guy. Mm-hmm. But the depression, he's always trying to make himself be the good guy and be. I think part of it is also the selling boats, the lifestyle.
He's a salesman.
He feels like a salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad manipulative guy on purpose. Like you said.
But that's the result.
I don't think he knows he's even doing this.
I totally agree. But that's the result. Yeah.
Yeah.
The intentions aren't there, but that's what's happening. And that's what's happening. He doesn't need to be dating right now. Absolutely not.
No, no. No, he does not at all. I agree with that.
And Sheedbeam says, I need to be able to trust him wholeheartedly, but I don't. And this is the thing. We talked to her a little bit about, you don't know if it's your own trust issues with men or popping up and saying, you shouldn't trust him, or is it some type of intuition? You don't know. You don't know if you can trust yourself.
Follow your heart, your intuition.
Yes, that.
I hate that song.
Who did that? Who did that song?
That is Jewel.
Yes! That's when she went away from like kind of folky stuff.
Yeah, she tried to get poppy.
Anyway, the next morning, she's leaving. It's their last full day together. They're going back to Miami tomorrow, or she flies back to Miami tomorrow.
She does.
And she says, did you wake up still loving me? I did. And she keeps saying, he's not living up to the promise of me meeting his son. I think you should think about not wanting
Again,
that.
they're actually both in their own way completely emotionally unavailable for the other person.
Yeah. And
because I don't think Elise should be in a relationship now either.
I agree. Yeah. So they're going out for a nice dinner and she's got no clothes on again and she's cold. And a montage of her being cold. And he's like, well, how do you feel about me? And she's like, well, I'm falling for you. But he's like, but not in love. She's like, not yet. I'm really glad that she held this line.
Me too.
And because when someone says I'm in love with you and you don't say it back, that takes a lot of chutzpah.
Well, for most people, for you, that's just another week. That's just sure.
Read any good books lately?
But no, it does to not say it back. That's
it's the Seinfeld thing where George is talking to this woman and he's like, Sienna, I love you. And she goes, want to get something to eat?
Yeah.
and then finally they find out she's hearing impaired. And she's like, I was saying it into the wrong ear. And then he goes, Sienna turns to her and turns in her right ear. She's like, I love you. And she goes, I heard you the first time. Got to be confident in that I love you return, y'all. Got to be confident in it. But it's a remarkably vulnerable thing to do. To tell someone.
Oh, yeah.
Lord knows. I've never said it first. Jesus.
I usually always say it first.
I'm sure you are.
And they don't ever say it back.
That sounds right.
Basically.
So he says, Elise says, he tells me everything I want to hear. That is true. But I think he does it to appease me. Also true.
Agree.
And she says, but she's listing all the different reasons.
Not to manipulate her, I think. Again, he tells her everything she wants to hear because he so doesn't realize he wants to be loved so badly.
Yeah. And for someone to take him away from these feelings he's having. Anything
to get him out of his life right now where he feels like shit about it.
Yeah. He feels like a complete failure, which is the most dangerous person to be in a relationship with.
Well, I think a sociopath is like the damnest thing.
Unless you're Rick or
I feel like, I don't know if the word dangerous, I think it is probably one of the most exhausting people.
It's a dangerous situation. Yeah. In other words, it's not going to be a good relationship.
Yeah.
And she basically says, look, we live on different continents. It's a 16-hour time difference. You have a son here. How do you plan to make this work? And he's like, well, it's going to be a move. And she goes, if I was to move here, who would pay? Then she goes, have you gone to a website and looked for anything? He's like, whoa. And then he goes...
So yeah, they both have very different standards for what's too soon and what's not. And none of them have the same standards of what's too soon.
Yeah, they're very different in their approach.
Because when she said that, I'm like, he doesn't need to be looking at that yet.
Yeah.
But he did just tell you he's falling in love with you.
But then he says, I'm confident I can pull this off. You just have to let go sometimes. I think there's a big difference between taking a risk for love and doing something foolish. And I think they're close sometimes, but
I actually think you don't. I don't even think you should take a quote risk for love. You could take maybe it should feel like it shouldn't feel scary when you're making a decision for love. It should feel right, even if it feels like. It can maybe feel scary and like this is new. It's a new experience, but you shouldn't feel unsettled about it, rather.
I don't know. I think anytime you go into a situation where you don't know what's going to happen.
Again, we heard a lot about your role play today, so I don't know if your assessment of risk in relationship.
Maybe this has my thrill-seeking sex issues. Yeah. Again, I'm the same person who said if I'm not thinking about dying a little bit, I'm not going to climax.
Yeah. So I think it shouldn't.
It's still different for me.
Yeah.
No, what I would say is he keeps saying he can pull it off, and I think this is more for him. I think he needs
to prove it to himself.
Yeah. Exactly. I think this is much more about proving it to himself than it is to her. And she says, I just don't know if you're stable. And he's just like, nope, that's going to make him even more.
Which is valid, but he can't take it. Like he's so over that and he's flipping out about it.
And he says,
he's like, sorry, I don't have a big nest egg. That you just have to trust me. And she's like, you're being a dick.
Being rude to me. And he's like, I'm just sticking up for myself. And he's just like, I just told you how I feel. And he's like, it's almost like you don't want it to happen.
Well, then he goes in that defeatist again. If you don't want it, just admit it. If you don't, basically saying, if you don't love me, if I'm trash, then just admit it. The ball's in your court.
I think his edit this episode, he has gotten a really good edit.
He has, but we've learned that he will throw the baby out with the bathwater if something. Yeah. He gets triggered.
And it's interesting. This is the first episode where we've seen him when he gets defensive. And he's been, I think, before next to Elise, anyone looks kind of normal to say that because of the way she behaves. But I think this is where her suspicion seems warranted and the way he
Agreed.
acts. Yeah.
Agreed.
Speaking of pickleball, or not at all, I still think Picklemalian is the best.
I do think Picklemalian is the best, but that is going to have to wait because it's time to talk about a new couple on 90 Day Fiance season 12. All right, y'all. So today we are talking about Mallory, 29, from
Athens, Alabama,
and Rasit or
maybe Rajit.
There's a little accent.
It's an S with a Sadia.
A Sadia. Rajit.
Actually, it's a backwards Sadia. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to stop talking.
I'm sorry.
The Sadia is usually with a C. So
he
I'm
is
not sure what that
29 and he's from
Turkey.
We got someone from Turkey.
Kevin and Turkey.
Thank God. Now, okay, so Mallory is a southern force of nature. She fell hard for Rajit, a dreamy boat captain, another boat guy. She met him during a girls' trip to Greece, but
AKA bang trip.
Yep, but bringing Rajit home to her small rural hometown proves challenging as he struggles to connect with Mallory's outspoken friends and navigate life as a foreigner.
Stevie and Mattie, Part 2.
Part 2. Tensions rise when Rajit asks Mallory to help support his parents financially back home. When they finally discuss the future, including a prenup and starting a family, their different points of views result in their fairy tale future slipping away.
This is interesting. This has got a lot of 90 Day tropes.
It does.
The parent support. So a little Chantal and Pedro with the prenup.
Uh-huh.
And looks like family issues.
Mm-hmm. She's a beautiful woman, and looks like a really handsome guy. So like they also are the same age. So it's not one of those relationships where there's a mismatch in any way. Yeah. Like it does feel very Stevie.
It does feel like they're interested in each other. The match works. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we'll see. It's not like the other one where she has OCD if she doesn't make out with her friends, which is still insane to me.
I gotta say, I'm just so pissed I did not find that one before. I could have used that for years.
I know. That would have saved you at Fiesta Cantina.
I know.
Everybody just would have known. Oh, Jake's got OCD. He's got to make out with you.
Poodle's OCD, it doesn't mean anything.
And I'm
holding hands with my boyfriend right there.
And you're just screaming at everyone going, 4 minutes! 4 minutes!
It's got to be 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't worry about my hands. That's also an OCD thing. They're going to be roving all over.
Roving, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. They can't sit still.
But we're still friends.
I have restless hand syndrome.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. We'll see. These seems like one of the more normal or typical, but also less dramatic, but who knows?
It's going to be the friends and family.
It's going to be the friends and family. Yeah. All right, y'all. That's your couple. We're going to talk about another one. Poodle's going to tell us about somebody next episode in part 2. Now we can move on to Picklemalian. Picklemalian, yes.
A sissy in the Facebook group found some names of pickleball romance novels. There's a lot, actually. But her favorite was Smash and Serve, a gay pickleball romance.
Oh, boy.
That's what they called me in college.
Well, they're going to make that HBO series.
I don't know if pickleball is as sexy as hockey is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't have the
Maybe
same.
Maybe tennis, but I don't think pickleball is sexy.
They already did with Challengers.
You
saw that movie, right? Did you say, is that a movie?
A gay tennis romance?
You never saw Challengers with Zendaya and Josh O'Connor and Mike Faced?
I thought it was, I saw that. I thought you meant a gay one, a gay tennis romance.
Challenger's kind of gay.
Because there was that one, they did that one, and then also the one with Kristen Scott.
Please don't get this wrong.
Kristen, not Bell. Kristen. What's her name? She was in Spider-Man and she played a child vampire.
Kristen Dunst.
Kristen Dunst.
No, yes. What's her name? There's only a couple Kristens. Why is Kristen Scott Thomas the first one? Jesus.
What was that movie? Was it called 40 Love or?
Oh, is that the Woody Allen one? Like Match Point?
Oh, it was just called Wimbledon.
Oh, no. But there was Match Point. But I don't think that was a Woody Allen movie with Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Wimbledon was with her and Paul Bettany.
Oh.
I don't think I saw the Zendaya one, actually. And
Challengers?
And that's a
great movie.
That's the only sport I like is tennis.
Challengers is great.
I did see Match Point with Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Yeah.
It's a thriller?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Directed by Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Wait, Matthew Good? No, I didn't see this one.
Riveting. I'm glad we can find movies you thought you saw, but you didn't actually see.
Well, I'm not going to see it now. It's too late.
What a ride. Let's talk about Laura and Birkan.
Yes.
Boy, after last week, I'm just like, I can't stand this lady.
I didn't think this was going to happen, though.
Think he was going to take her back? I did, because he relies on her financially. He's going to.
Well,
also, what else does he have in his life going on?
That's true. Y'all, she's sitting in that bedroom of her hotel, got the same clothes that she wore the day before.
She said, I didn't enjoy waking up alone.
God. How many times have you woken up in a hotel room wearing the clothes you were wearing the night before?
Not a lot.
Really?
I usually don't stay.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Why am I going to stay? For the company? I definitely don't want that. I've already gotten what I needed, and now I think if both of us are been drinking, then I'll stay.
Or make them pay for an Uber home for you.
That's better. Yeah.
Just pick up your car tomorrow. You just call, hey.
Oh, I've done that so many times.
Oh, I'm sure they answer, welcome to Lofty Inn. How can we help you? Hey, it's Jake again. Oh, car's out here, Jake. I see it. You're fine.
Thanks.
I got your keys at the front desk.
Oh, you washed it. Well, you stay here so much.
The Lofty Inn membership, you're on the point system rewards.
Yeah. The executive club.
Yeah.
So it's also her affect when she is talking, doing confessionals. We were always saying it's just very, very kind of detached, and it is that teacher mentality, and it now drives me crazy because it's so kind of. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Instead of let me tell you how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
and you can't get inside this woman's emotions because she won't let you, and she's a very frustrating person to cover. For that reason.
I get it. You don't really know. If it wasn't for the in the moments, the talking head, you wouldn't even know what she's really thinking.
But you barely know there. And when she says it, it feels like a kind of a cerebral analysis of what she's feeling instead of what she's actually feeling.
I also don't buy. Like when she said, this is what I was worried about. And of me having to choose between him and Michael. And I went, but you brought it up.
This is your fantasy. This is your fantasy.
Asked you. He brought it up. And then he didn't ask you to do it. But I don't think she would have done it anyway.
No. No. Well, it's interesting because she said I should have been honest with Birkan and let him know that my feelings for him are stronger than the ones that I could have ever had for Michael. And she says, you know, and Birkan says she keeps keeping things from me, then she didn't apologize. And by spending the night in a hotel, I want her to realize what it'd be like without me. Her pride doesn't cuddle her at night. He's so
petty. He's
so
petty.
awful. And I do agree that I couldn't last week that the one person I was a little sorry for was Birkan. Don't get it twisted. He's still awful.
No, he wants to punish her.
Yeah.
And that's
major dark energy.
You don't want to punish someone that you love.
Yep. She brings him food. And she apologizes. Sorry, I didn't tell you about hitting on Michael. I didn't want to hurt you. And he says, thank you. He's like, but why did you mislead me? She's like, I was worried if you thought it was me who made the move, you would try to put a stop to my friendship with him. And he said, the thing missing is the fact that you did have feelings for him. And she's like, okay, I did, but
you're not a replacement for Michael. She's like, in fact, you're so much sweeter and more attentive. You're actually way better than him, which is what he wants to hear.
Does this tell you what kind of guy she wants? She wants a guy who does things. She wants a guy who is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants a guy right out of those fucking books she reads.
Yeah.
Who does. And the thing is, if you're in a relationship, it's much more about someone showing up authentically than doing 4 little things for you every day or planning a yacht thing. Now, those are great, but that's not going to happen every day.
Yeah, I actually think relationships are in little gestures, not big ones.
Yeah. But I think even you might have 1, 2 little gestures a day. But it's much more about that person showing up for you and asking, how was your day? And I think Michael, in what we've seen, at least is trying to help her somewhat emotionally, although I think he's also trying to manipulate her.
Yeah. I think both guys are trying to manipulate her.
Yep. She says, I'm scared even to say this, but would you feel better if I cut him out of my life? And I went, okay. So this is someone.
Said, I didn't want this to happen. Again, like you said, she brought it up because she wants the romance. Like, oh no, will she or won't he? When he says, well, can you even do that? And she says, if that's what it takes, then I'll do it.
So what's interesting here is he kind of looks at her and she responds with, well, having the opportunity to be fully loved is worth giving up my friendship with Michael. So wonder what fully loved means. I was thinking about that. What does being fully loved mean for Laura?
Because Michael, well, for her, in that case, she is still in some ways wanting to throw this in Michael's face to punish him for not choosing her.
100%.
So she wants someone, they're all 3 petty as fuck, all 3 of them. And this whole thing, so fully loved is that she is chosen by Birkan. And what he's going to do, he knows if I tell her to end this friendship, then that makes me seem weak.
Yep.
And it's going to give her bargaining power and reason to resent me.
Yeah.
But if I say, no, he's a good guy and I'm okay with that, it's still on her to make it up to him.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he says later, it's about actions, not words.
Yeah.
She's going to have to jump through so many fucking hoops for this guy for her to again be worthy for him.
The other part of it is that she has just said, I will, my best friend is dead to me for you.
That's not what you say about your best friend.
I would not want someone to do that for me.
No.
And then, so he's like, it's okay. You don't have to do that. He's a good guy. He's like, you can be friends, but not that weird friendship you had before. I agree that what they had before was a friendship without boundaries.
But so again, they didn't have boundaries, but also he doesn't want to put parameters on it because then if he says exactly what he wants it to be, he can't use it again against her.
True. And he's like, it's bad to lose people. I've lost a lot of people. Again, reminding her about his trauma, and I don't want to be the one to break them apart. But he's like, and I love Laura, and she has a pure heart, and she makes me love life, and I want her to be happy.
And she pays my bills.
Yeah. So who knows? I don't know what's going to happen with them.
I mean, based off her social media, they're not together, but who knows? But also, romance novels have dramatic relationships. So,
Aviva and Stig. I almost said Aviva and Prig. Aviva and Stig, who are not pregnant.
Stig, the artist, not pregnant. It'll be interesting because we saw next week she was really upset. I wonder if he fucked it up.
Yeah, that was weird. She's packing and she's kissing him, and those greasy 2 strands of hair just flip over on him.
I actually wrote, I think she washed her hair finally.
She washed her hair to get, but it's still those 2 strands. She
needs hair help.
Flip out.
We're not the only pod. Every pod's talking about it.
It looks actually much better what she's just posted.
It's much better. She's like, I'm going home engaged. And she loves the ring. And she says, what we kind of assume, she's like, when are you going to file for a visa for me to live here? And he's like,
I thought you were going to apply for me. And I went, wait, you haven't talked about this? Then I remembered, no, she's been talking about the whole time about when I come here. And
well, we've even said, I think you said
he's popular.
There's no way he's going to want to come to the U.S. because he's not famous in the U.S.
Well,
we were surprised by this.
He makes a case for this. I did not know his 2 brothers were in Houston.
I did not know that. And his ex-girlfriend.
Which he brought up. And so he's like, look, I'm super popular in Belize, but I'm not making American money. And this is where my radar went up a little bit. And he's like, the only way to work in the U.S. is to get a visa and become a citizen, because that's how you make the big bucks. I went, and I'm like, and that's great, but I also love Aviva, right? I also love Aviva.
It is a bit with that. And that he's already saying he doesn't want to live in Arizona. Yep. And
they'll be in Texas next year if he makes it.
Him making that joke at the end about not having a ring on his finger. You don't say that when you just got engaged.
You don't.
So I think probably he did cheat.
Yeah. So the other thing that you can just see her life of sitting but in a hammock, her Belizean life just evaporating.
Yeah.
That basic bitch, like watching him perform, just sun-kissed life. All falling out. Now she has to go back to Arizona and clean teeth. And
is that what she does? I forgot.
Yeah, she's a hygienist. I think a hygienist assistant, actually.
I used to think that'd be a fun job. And then I don't know, does it get boring because you feel like you're doing the same thing? Or is every mouth a new mouth to clean? Because, I love cleaning teeth and orthodontists. Oh, I think maybe I would like it. Like every time there's a new cavity, there's a new...
Well, you talk like one. Never fucking shuts up.
Hey, I'm supposed to get these off next week. I was going to get them off today, but I had to go do that film.
No mention of it. Please. It's just... all salt in the wound right now.
Yeah, I know.
So they are, did you notice she keeps crying in the confessional and she's like, why are you so emotional? And I thought maybe the confessionals when they found out she was pregnant.
Maybe.
But, because that's when she looks big, is the confessionals. And, Aviva says, so now we have to really trust each other. Don't get drunk and stupid. And Stig's like, I have a fiance now. Why am I going to do that? Sure. And so she is crying and he says, thank you for healing me and saying yes to me. What a line.
What a
line.
Thanks
for healing me.
I'm like, uh-oh. Aunt Spring's going to be coming in hot on this tell-all, y'all. Get ready.
Yeah. That ponytail... a hair ornament's just gonna be bobbing up and down like a snake just coiled up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can see us living in Arizona and having a little family. And I went, seriously? And he's like, I'm excited about the future in the U.S. There's a lot more opportunities. I know people. My brothers are there. I'm more down to go to Houston because my brothers and the producer says, who else? He's like, well, my ex-girlfriend, but I don't have a ring on.
I'm playing. I'm just kidding. I'm engaged. People don't say that. Truth in kidding. Well, there is always truth in teasing like that. Always.
This guy's smile tells you.
Yeah.
This is a smile of someone who is only going to ever give you 60%. And I know because I have one of those.
What a dog.
I know. Yeah. He will give you 60% of him, 60% of the truth, 60% of things, of what he thinks. You're going to get 60%.
And
on a good day.
Yeah. And I have given too much of a percentage of listening to your role play story today. So we're ending the show, y'all. That's the show. Oh, we're going to jump into part 2 tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Unless you're on the $15 tier, then you're getting it now. You can just jump right on into that.
Filthy dick pig.
Now, look, for those of you who like to watch the videos and you say, well, I just want to watch it on Tuesday. That's great. You can watch it on Tuesday. But remember, you're going to watch ads and commercials on YouTube. So if you want a completely all ad, that we do not have ads. We fixed it for some of you watching videos.
We fixed it the first week.
We have fixed it on Patreon and Supercast. You do not see ad. That was
on the videos.
A YouTube thing.
That was
like
a YouTube
technical thing.
Yeah.
We fixed that. You will not see commercials anymore on those videos. So it's completely, anything above $8 or more is completely ad free for everyone. All right. But if you're on the main feed listening right now, we appreciate y'all so much. A way to support our show is to support our sponsors. They enable us to do what we love. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And y'all, and again, if you are watching on YouTube,
thumbs up the butt.
Thumbs up the butt. Give us a thumbs up, like, share.
Weird.
It does. It does. It's like
especially this angle.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Looks very jarring the way you do. Anyway, all right, everybody. That's the show. We call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love and all the wrong waterfalls, poodle?
Mm-hmm. And if you, like me, are just inviting your middle school bro over.
Oh, God.
And things get out of hand, call their mom. Okay?
Yeah, don't call us.